All right, let's talk about something we do every single day, but probably never really think about. Eating. We're about to go on one of the most incredible journeys imaginable, and it's happening inside you right now.
You know how it is? You take a bite of your sandwich, you chew, you swallow, and that's kind of it, right? But have you ever really wondered what happens next? I mean, what's the actual story after that bite disappears? What's going on down there?
Well, for the next 5 minutes, we're going to follow that food on its wild ride. Think of your body as this incredible high-tech factory, a disassembly and fuel processing plant. We'll see how your lunch gets broken down, sterilized, sorted, and turned into the actual fuel that's powering your brain, to even process what I'm saying. Okay, so every great journey has a starting point. For your food, it's the receiving dock, your mouth. And this is where you make your one and only conscious decision in this whole process. Two big things happen here. First, the obvious one, mechanical breakdown, chewing. And second, something a little more subtle, chemical breakdown. The enzymes in your saliva actually get to work right away, starting to digest carbohydrates before you've even swallowed.
And here's the crazy part. That first stage, the oral stage, where you decide, yep, I'm going to swallow this, that's the last bit of control you have, the only part. The second you make that choice, a switch flips. The whole system goes on autopilot. It becomes completely automatic, an involuntary journey with no turning back. It's an amazing piece of biological engineering, really.
So you might think food just falls down into your stomach, right? Thanks gravity. But nope, that's not it at all. You could be eating upside down and it would still get there because of this incredible process called peristalsis. It's this perfectly coordinated, wave-like muscle contraction that literally pushes the food along. The toothpaste analogy is perfect. It's just like squeezing a tube from the bottom up to get every last bit out. It's that deliberate.
All right, after that esophageal slide, our food plops into the next major stop, the stomach. And let me tell you, this place is not a friendly holding cell. It is a churning, muscular, acid-filled sterilization tank. Its job? To basically nuke any germs that came in with your food and begin the really tough work of breaking down proteins.
How intense are we talking? Well, the pH in your stomach is around 1. 1. That is incredibly acidic. We're talking nearly the same strength as battery acid. And get this, to keep that acid bath going, your stomach churns out about 2.5 liters of this stuff every single day. That's wild. So the big question is, with all that corrosive acid, why doesn't the stomach just digest itself? It's a brilliant bit of internal warfare, really. You've got the attack force, that's the hydrochloric acid, and a protein-munching enzyme called pepsin. But then you have the defense shield, a super thick, constantly regenerating layer of mucus that protects the stomach lining. It's a constant, delicate battle. And like any delicate balance, sometimes it gets thrown off. When the system goes wrong, when that shield weakens or the attack gets out of control, we start to feel it in some pretty unpleasant ways.
Let's talk about one you've probably heard of or even felt, acid reflux. What's happening there is the little valve, kind of like a gate at the top of the stomach, gets a little lazy and doesn't close all the way. This lets some of that attack force, the acid, splash back up into the esophagus. And since the esophagus has zero defense shield, you feel that burn, heartburn. And this is why it's so common for pregnant women. Hormonal changes can cause that little valve to relax.
Now, a peptic ulcer is pretty much the opposite problem. The acid isn't escaping. Instead, the stomach's own defenses have failed. That protective mucus shield gets a hole in it, and the acid and pepsin start doing their job. But on the stomach wall itself, ouch. And things like alcohol, some pain relievers, or even a certain type of bacteria can be the culprits that weaken that shield.
Okay, so after the stomach has done its acid blasting, our lunch is now a soupy mess called chyme, and it's ready for the main event, the small intestine. Don't let the name fool you. This thing is the real MVP of the whole operation. It's not just a long tube, it's the absorption superhighway, the main disassembly line where the real magic of getting nutrients into your body happens.
Just look at how important this part of the journey is. Sure, carbs start breaking down in the mouth and proteins get a head start in the stomach. But when it comes to the crucial step, actually absorbing the good stuff, all roads lead to the small intestine. It's the central station where everything, from carbs to proteins to fats, gets broken down into its final, tiny, usable form. So great, we've got all these nutrient building blocks, sugars, amino acids, fatty acids, now floating around in the bloodstream. So what now? Well, the final chapter of this journey isn't about moving to a new organ. It's about transformation.
This is where your metabolism steps up to the plate and starts making some big decisions.
Metabolism is basically your body's super smart energy manager. Imagine it sitting at a big desk with all these nutrients arriving. For every single one, it asks a few simple questions. Do we need this for energy, like right now? Do we need to use this to build or repair stuff? Or do we have extra? Should we stick this in the savings account for later?
Let's look at how this works for sugar. If you're about to go for a run, your body says, use it now, and burns that glucose for instant energy. That's glycolysis. But if you've just had a big meal and you're chilling on the couch, your body says, save for later, and it stores that extra glucose. That's glycogenesis. It's creating a little energy stash for the future.
Okay, what about protein? Its number one job is building. Think of amino acids as the bricks, and your body is constantly using them to build and repair everything from muscles to enzymes. That process is called anabolism. But in a real pinch, like a true emergency, your body can go into survival mode and start breaking down those structures for fuel. That's catabolism. It's a last resort.
And then there's fat. This is your body's long-term high-yield savings account. When you need to tap into those reserves for energy, say during a long hike, you're making a withdrawal. That's lipolysis. And when you have way more energy than you need, your body makes a deposit, storing it away as body fat. That's lipogenesis. It's an incredibly efficient way to manage energy over the long haul.
And that's it. That's the whole incredible trip. From that one conscious decision to swallow, it becomes a completely automated process. A disassembly line flowing into this complex, amazing metabolic economy. Your health really just hangs in this delicate balance between using, building, and storing all the fuel you give your body.
So how about that? The next time you take a bite of food, maybe you'll think about it a little differently. It's not just eating. You're kicking off this unbelievable chain reaction inside an automated factory that's working 24/7, just for you. Kind of gives you a new level of appreciation for your lunch, doesn't it?